The most outdated belief today is this idea: go to school, get a job, work endlessly, save money, clear your debt, and then wait decades for stock market returns. Think about it. Why save cash when governments are printing trillions non-stop? The wealth gap between the top 1% and everyone else keeps exploding. This isn't just about money, it's about understanding the bigger picture. Inside every person, there are three identities. One is poor, one is middle class, and one is rich. The poor mindset still exists in me. The middle class side wants safety, a regular paycheck, job security, and then there's the wealthy mindset. The problem is, we're only trained for one role: go to school, get employed, and wait for salary. No one teaches how to actually become rich. In Rich Dad, Poor Dad, my rich mentor refused to pay me. He believed that a paycheck is one of the most dangerous addictions in life. The moment you depend on a salary, you start thinking like an employee. That's why he never paid me, and it drove my real father, a government worker, crazy. My rich mentor wasn't against money, he just didn't want to be controlled by it. As an entrepreneur, if one business fails, you move on to the next. You don't depend on a single source of income. If one country makes it hard, entrepreneurs go where they're valued. That freedom comes from mindset, not business titles. Entrepreneurship isn't about owning a small shop, it's about thinking differently. Big businesses, small businesses, and employees all play by different rules. The mindset, skills, and strategies change depending on which game you're in. I still remember my final paycheck. It was one of the happiest and scariest days of my life. I was working at Xerox in Puerto Rico, and my boss handed me my last bonus check, around $30,000 before taxes. I was excited, but uneasy.
A coworker told me, "You'll be back." He believed I'd fail and return, just like he did. I told him, if I fail, I'm never coming back. That decision changed everything. If you believe failure means running home for safety, that's exactly what you'll do. When I failed, that's when entrepreneurship truly began. I had no money for years, no paycheck, no safety net. But that hunger made me sharper, smarter. My mentor said, poverty tests your character. Will you cheat, quit, or grow stronger as a human being? Most people focus only on what might happen to them. Entrepreneurs look at the full picture. Every crisis brings opportunity if you're prepared. If you think the next 20 years will look like the last 20, you're setting yourself up for disaster. People check expiration dates on food, but never on their thinking. Instead of avoiding debt, I learned how to use it. I refinanced hundreds of millions at lower interest and made more money monthly just by reducing borrowing costs. The real lesson I learned wasn't real estate, it was how debt and taxes work. The rich use them as tools. The poor and middle class are crushed by them. High-income professionals earn more but take home less due to taxes.
If I earn $1 million, I keep most of it. Why? Because I don't work for money, I build systems. When you earn through wages, you're taxed heavily. Entrepreneurs create businesses, control income, and reduce taxes legally. That's why old advice like save money and get out of debt no longer works. Money changed when it left the gold standard and became debt. Information now doubles every 18 months, making traditional education outdated the moment you graduate. Banks don't even want your savings anymore. They've printed too much money. Cash is losing value. Savers suffer. Debtors with knowledge win. Most so-called entrepreneurs are actually self-employed, and they pay the highest taxes. Real entrepreneurship isn't just hustle, it's understanding systems. There's no such thing as a bad economy, only weak internal economies. Entrepreneurs adjust from the inside. They don't panic when conditions change because they don't rely on jobs. A strong internal mindset means setbacks make you stronger. Weak mindsets collapse under fear. Entrepreneurs control what's inside first, because once you master that, the outside world stops controlling you. The moment you depend on a paycheck, you give up that control.